1/3 Nerd, Chapter 4. Superpowers I don't have. Dodge is chewing paper when Mom and Izzy get home. He wads it up and sprinkles it with sugar. It's not so bad, actually. I tried it. Cupcake waits for the sugar to slide onto the floor and then she licks it up. Mom kisses us, then she calls Crash to tell him she's home so he doesn't have to come over. She sticks the beef Wellington in the oven before she takes her purse off of her shoulder. Cupcake curls around Mom and Izzy's legs. Mom is always happy to see us, but Cupcake goes practically psychotic whenever one of us comes home. Izzy gives Cupcake a kiss on her wet black nose. Then she hugs me, Dakota, and Dodge. My mom has a long blonde ponytail that swings when she walks. She likes puzzles and kangaroos and things from Australia. She uses weird words sometimes, like the toilet is the dunny and lottery tickets are scratchies. She is the assistant manager at Ferroli's restaurant. Dodge and I set the table. Dodge likes eating with us because Crash cooks weird food, like chocolate cake with beets in it and popcorn with ketchup. Dodge is always trying to convince him to make his Grandma Lily's pot roast, or tamales, or chimichangas, or chocolate chip Rice Krispie cookies. But Dodge's Grandma Lily died a few years ago, and Crash doesn't want to cook from her recipes. Dodge doesn't know why. I wait until we're done with dessert to suggest to Mom that maybe we should call Dad. Why? She asks. Dakota slides off her chair. Mom digs a tunnel in her ice cream. Izzy's speech therapist was late. What happened? Dodge looks at me. I clear my throat. The police came. Dakota tried out a new experiment. It was loud. Mom puts down her spoon. Mr. Torps? She whispers. He wasn't home. Somebody else must have called. Somebody else? She holds her head like it hurts. I don't know if that's good news or bad news. Good news. The police are good. Izzy wipes her mouth. I'm using napkin. And Purpley is using napkin too. Izzy wipes the purple horse's mouth, then puts him in her lap. Good job, Mom nods. Izzy's smile shines. Mom peeks under the table at Dakota. Why didn't you wait until I came home to do the experiment? Dakota sighs. I wanted to see if I could do it. What about that promise you made after the Mentos explosion? Oh, yeah, Dakota says. Mom looks at me. Well, what did the police say? That we shouldn't be left alone? And that what your father wants to talk to me about? I nod. That's what he wants to talk to you about. My mother sighs. She carries her bowl into the kitchen and turns on the faucet full force. The leftover ice cream splashes out. Better start emailing your apologies, Dakota. One to your father, one to the neighbors. I'll track down the email addresses. The police come, and that's all the punishment that Dakota gets? Girl gets way off easier than guys do. I'm happy Dakota is emailing, though. Then I won't have to actually go with her to deliver her apologies. Dakota crawls out from underneath the table. We exchange a look. Even she knows this isn't a bad punishment. Mom must be in a good mood. Probably. She got all the words in the New York Times crossword puzzle done this morning. Mom helps Izzy do her homework. Izzy can read okay, if the books don't have many words in them. When Dakota finishes her emails, she shows them to Dodge and me. Hello, parental unit. I'm sorry about the police. Mom says I need to work on my before thinking. Before I do stuff, I'm supposed to think. It's hard to keep your brain thinking in the right direction every minute. Maybe there should be traffic lights up there. Bye, Dakota. Hello, neighbors. I'm sorry if I disturbed any one of the 1,440 minutes in your day. I will do only quiet explosions from now on. But I don't know how you make mittens or Kleenexes explode. From Dakota. Mom is helping Izzy practice her writing when Dakota brings our old laptop to her. Mom reads the emails and then asks, Do you mean that? Sort of, Dakota says. Mom sighs. I suppose that's a start. Go ahead and send the one to Dad. The neighbor's email needs work. Like what? The part about quiet explosions? Dakota's arms are crossed. How am I supposed to win a Nobel Prize then? Mom rolls her eyes. It's getting late, so we walk Dodge home. Mom and Cupcake come along because we aren't allowed to go places by ourselves in the dark. Izzy holds Dodge's hand, which would be humiliating if it were anyone besides Dodge. Dodge lives up near the freeway in a small house with a tiny porch full of his grandma's flowers. Crash makes sure every one of her plants stay alive. He says there should be a 911 for plant emergencies. Dodge waves goodbye and opens the front door. Dodge's house is crowded. The table is buried under a mound of junk mail. There are newspapers stacked all around and Book of the Month Club packages. Crash won't throw anything away that has Lily's name on it. On the way home, Mom stops to talk to the neighbors with all the plants on her patio. I can't imagine who complained because our neighbors are nice. It's only the landlord who isn't. We run on ahead with Cupcake, who is panting hard because a truck just passed by. Cupcake thinks it's her job to bark at all trucks. We need to figure out a way to make some money for the vet, Dakota announces. Money in Mom's purse, Izzy says. But that's her money, I say. Pine needles are crackling underneath my feet. We need our money. Money in the bank, Izzy says. That's the bank's money. Izzy shakes her head. The bank gives Mom money. That's her money that the bank is borrowing, Dakota says. I shake my head at Dakota. Don't get all technical on Izzy, I whisper. Cupcake waits patiently for us to kick a pine cone, then dashes after it, jerking the leash. The bank keeps Mom's money in a safe place. When we get home, we'll get the Monopoly game money out, I tell Izzy. Money! Izzy skips after Cupcake. What if we did experiments in the park? Dakota suggests. We could pass a hat for money. We could do like the watermelon explosion. Too loud and messy. Somebody will call the police. How about the Mentos explosion? Everybody knows that one. No one would pay to see it. I breathe in the smell of someone's barbecue. Besides, we'd have to buy the Diet Coke and the Mentos. Mom will buy them, Dakota says. Not after last time. A few weeks ago, Dakota did the Mentos and Diet Coke experiment, which makes a reliable explosion. The Diet Coke made a huge mess. It got all over the Torps' windows. When Torps saw it, I wished as hard as I could for the invisibility superpower. We tried to clean the windows, but we couldn't reach them. Mom had to buy a ladder. She docked Dakota's allowance to cover the cost. I don't have any allowance coming in either because I took an advance to buy new tennis balls, which are already used up. So no new tennis balls and no allowance for the rest of the year. Children, children! Mr. Torps is standing on his tiny porch. He's aiming his cane at us and squinting behind his glasses. Mr. Torps! Mr. Torps! Izzy hops up and down. Hi, Mr. Torps. Mr. Torps frowns at her. Hello? He said hi. I can go hug him. But before we have time to answer, Izzy runs up to Mr. Torps' porch and gives him a big hug. Oh, for goodness sake. Mr. Torps tries to right his glasses. Thank you, Mr. Torps. Thank you, thank you. Izzy waves as she runs back to us. For what? He calls. Hugs, Izzy says. But the police. He thumps his cane on the rolled up yoga mat leaning against the railing. What did they say? Oh, the police good, Mr. Torps, Izzy shouts. But, he sputters. The firemen are good too. Do you like the firemen, Mr. Torps? Izzy asks. There was a fire? Mr. Torps cries. No. She just says that she likes firemen, I tell him. Mr. Torps scowls at me. How did he know about the police? I whisper to Dakota. Somebody must have told him, Dakota hissed. Mr. Torps takes off his slipper. I think he's going to slap it against the porch rail like he does when he gets mad. But he just stands there. You children, he shouts. Yes, sir, I say. Tell your mother I want to speak with her. Tell her to find her lease. I'll be down tomorrow morning at 8. Does he have to shout so loud at all the neighbors? So all the neighbors hear? It's scary when your landlord gets mad at you. Landlord trouble is worse than flunking a test because landlords don't give retakes. I'll tell her, I say. Dakota skips up next to me. What's a lease? It's a paper you sign when you rent an apartment. I don't get it, Dakota says. Why would you sign a paper to live in your home? Because we don't own it. Torps does. Yeah, but it's our home, not his, Dakota says. Actually, it's not, I say. Torps has his home, and we have ours. Nope, he owns both of them. That's not fair, Dakota says. I shrug. Our home. Izzy waits by the door, smiling at us. Mommy said it's our home. The end of chapter 4. Thanks.